Hello everyone, my name is Miftahul Zana and
My name is Novia Ramadhani.
we're from 4B Publishing. Today we will talk about business etiquette of United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom, made up of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, is an island nation in northwestern Europe. England, birthplace of Shakespeare and the Beatles, is home to the capital, London, a globally influential center of finance and culture. England is also site of Neolithic Stonehenge, bathroom spa, and centers of universities at Oxford and Cambridge. Here is the map of UK.
Flag formed by overlap of flag representing 4 countries, whose design are the symbol of the cross of 3 patron saints. Flag of England, St. George, red in the middle white background. Flag of Scotland, St. Andrew, white egg-shaped with blue background. The cross of St. Patrick, which represents of island of Ireland, red egg-shaped with background.
Then iconic place in UK. First, Big Ben is probably one of the most iconic British landmarks that everyone has seen on TV. Big Ben is actually the name of the great bell that sat in the Elizabeth Tower. Second, Windsor Castle is a prominent landmark well known for its architecture and its association of over 900 years with the English and British royalty. Then, overlooking the River Thames by Tower Bridge, become one of the most popular areas in London for its wealth of historic sites, an impressive modern landmark in England, and one of the most famous bridges in Europe. And last, the London Eye is the only attraction offering a constantly changing 360-degree perspective of central London.
Greeting in the UK. In business, practice formal language, no slang, no acronyms and reliance. One popular culture, maintaining good posture also makes a good impression. Handshakes and a little small talk will start most meeting. Unlike Asia, which prefer a softer handshake if any. A firm handshake and smile are ideal. This is the most touching the English consider polite in business and often in personal relationship. They do not hug or kiss in greeting. Large hand gesture and overly expressive body language will seem coarse and unfit.
Dress etiquette. In the UK, till today, business style is business formal and conservative for many industries such as finance, investments, and professional service. For these industries, men wear suits in the darker shades with dress shirts and ties. Men should avoid straight ties because of their representation of various institutions, wear less shoes, and not slip-on loafers. Women also wear darker colors, skirts or trousers in more conservative business. Jeans are not commonly worn in the everyday business world.
Business meeting etiquette in UK. 1. The first thing to be aware of is that meetings are a central part of British business culture. 2. Don't turn up for a meeting invited. British people are quite protective all this time, and if you arrive, announce that you're not likely to be received well. 3. Try to arrive 10 minutes before the meeting time. As mentioned about people in the UK value time, which means they don't expect to keep waiting. Not only does arriving 10 minutes early demonstrate that you value your counterpart time, it also shows that you are invested in the meeting. If you're running late, then call in advance and pre-warn your meeting host. 4. Be aware that business cards aren't treated with the same formality as they might be in other culture. 5. A lot of British people value time. They always make time at the beginning of a business meeting to engage in small talk. Small talk invariable center of subjects such as their weather, journeys to the office, and whether you found the office usually if you're a first-time visitor. 6. Business meeting in the UK are general framed by an agenda. Of the agenda may move off tangent apart. They typically follow the point in order. If you want to discuss topics which are not included on the core agenda, they request that is it included at the end of the meeting in the A or B, any other business section. 7. British communication culture sits somewhere in between direct and indirect. This means that although your counterpart might be fairly direct about something, they are likely to present the topic in a way that softens its impact. 8. Typical at the end of the meeting. The meeting chair confirms agreement made during the meeting. He or she is likely to confirm the task the person with responsibility for completing it and the deadline. If you are chairing a meeting in the UK, then it's good practice to email this out to everyone so that they have a copy.
Do and don'ts business etiquette in UK. Do. First, shake hands when meeting for the first time, usually at the beginning and sometimes at the end of a first meeting. Greeting with a kiss is safe for clients that you know very well. 2. Be punctual. Don't be late for business meetings, interviews, things friends or colleagues. Just don't. Ever. If you stand on a YouTube platforms, an announcement reveals that the Northern Line is facing 5-minute delays. The passive-aggressive looks, mutters, and body language will tell you all you need to know. Londoners are always in a rush. Don't waste their time. 3. Treat people with politeness. Good manners and a healthy dose of politeness is highly valued in Britain. 4. Exchange business cards if you have one. This is not old-fashioned and is seen as professional. 5. Offer refreshment, tea or coffee or water. At the start of a meeting, biscuit or small Danish pastries, including gluten-free choice, are also most welcome. 6. Learn how British humor works. The Great British Sarcasm is possibly the nation's greatest export, not quite as well loved as their stiff upper lip, where showing too much emotion is considered rather uncouth. A sense of humor will get you very far.
Don't. 1. Use only slang or swear word in a formal meeting, as it can be seen as offensive and inappropriate. 2. Dress too casually. Jeans or sport shoes are not always appropriate for a formal meeting. Check the dress code in advance. 3. British people are known for being overly polite and reserved. Try not to be too direct in the first meeting you have with a British client, as they may not be familiar with the many business in schedule in the Netherlands. 4. Do not mention Brexit to your British client unless it is a relevant part of the discussion or until they mention it first. It can be a very sensitive topic, and most British people will have very strong bias for staying in or leaving the European Union, depending on how they vote in the referendum.
Gift-giving etiquette in UK. Gift giving is not a common part of British business etiquette, although mutual benefit is a good habit when receiving gifts. Some organizations are encouraged not to accept gifts of any kind, and some organizations are prohibited from doing so via legal reason. However, where the gift is provided, it is important to ensure that the price of the gift is not sufficient to be considered bribe or cheap enough to be considered insulting. There are many suitable gifts to choose from: corporate greeting cards, pens, books, diaries, wine, flowers, invitation to souvenir, or cultural event in the country of the visitor. If you receive a gift in public, it is recommended that you open it immediately and thank the donor.
Popular publisher in UK. Penguin Random House. Since is what founded in 1935, Penguin Group has been synonymous with publishing. The firm took £4 billion merger in 2013 with another major industry firm. Random House created the world's biggest publisher. Positioning first as Penguin Random House, the companies knew they have the power required to invest in and fully realize the potential of digital publisher. PRH worked with many household names Alder, Lichil, Ian McEwan, and Jojo Moyes, to name but a few, and has roughly a 25% share of the UK's book market. Hachette Livre. Hachette Livre was established in France nearly 200 years ago, but has long been a big name in English fiction and non-fiction. Books by such famous diverse writers as Douglas Adams, Kate Addy, and Ian Rankin are printed by the firm. Hachette embraced social media wholeheartedly and has teamed up with Twitter for hashtag Where I Write, a series of video podcasts varying insight from its author, Herbert Collins. Herbert Collins takes pride in the varying of its output. Its publisher work by established and up and coming author, plus educational titles. The publisher began life as William Collins and Sons in 1819 and has worked with legendary authors such as Agatha Christie. It has illustration history is traditional publishing but also moved with the times. Faber Independent Alliance. The award-winning Faber Independent Alliance is a pioneering force in publishing. In the spirit of strength in number, several independent publishing, including Faber and Faber, Canongate, Granta Books, and others, have joined forces to create an influential community that can compete with standalone big hitter. Penn Macmillan. Original known as Macmillan, the publisher was founded in 1843. It published literature by the period's major authors, such as Lewis Carroll, and later established itself as an academic publisher too. Penn Macmillan's interest in children literature reflects its beginning as a family-run firm. The Macmillan Prize is awarded to young, especially talented children book illustrators, supporting the next generation of creative minds.
We think that's our presentation. Please forgive us if we are wrong. And thank you for attention and have a nice day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.